Hello all. So the week 3 is completed, and thank you for all who participated in the BC Open quiz on LinkedIn. There was 772 votes on all the questions that we posted on the week 3. This video, where we kind of go through each and every question, try to analyze how community is responding to these questions, plus also try to learn something new out of those questions. Hopefully you are liking this series, and if yes, do a thumbs up or add some comments into the video so that I know that it's still worth the effort that I'm putting into it. So let's get into it. So the first question was, which property is used to set the drill down page associated with the table? Now what happens is a page design or a standard design pattern is that you build a table, then you associate a list page with it, and then the list page is associated with a card page, and that's how you navigate to those records. So on a table you need to define which would be the associated list page with it. Typically that becomes the drill down page, and we'll see the example of it. Now the property that sets it, the options were drill down page ID, drill down page, lookup page ID, and lookup page. There is still 81% people who thought it's drill down page ID, 7% people thought it's drill down page, 7% again thought it's lookup page ID, and 4% people thought it's lookup page, with 96 vote on this question. And the correct answer, as we have talked about it, is drill down page ID. Let's quickly have a look into it. So when you go into any of the application object, let's go into the customer table, you will find that there is a drill down page ID which says customer list. So anywhere, wherever you are trying to open up the record that is associated with customer, or you're trying to do a lookup, it automatically pulls up this page which is customer list, and this page opens up for the user, and that's how this drill down page ID property works. We did create some tables in the week 2 for this. So if you notice, there is no drill down page ID, but there is actually a list page associated with it. So I should have a drill down page ID added here, and the page name SDH test, which is the list page. And this is how system understand that which page to pop up when there's a navigation or a table relation to that particular field. Hopefully that's clear. Let's move up to the next question. Which property allow other modules to make additive changes to an object? Now when we say other modules, that means other extensions, and these are the options: allow customization, data classification, extensible, and access. And 7% people out of 158 votes thought it's allow customization, 4% thought it's data classification, 82% thought extensible, and 6% voted for access. And the correct answer is extensible. If you specify on your object that this is extensible false, no other module or no other app will be able to make any additive changes on that particular object. For example, when you look on the whole API engine from Microsoft, all those pages are set to be extensible false, and that's the reason you cannot extend them. In the similar way, the prompt dialog pages are set to be extensible false. That means no other extension can extend or make additive changes to those objects which are set to extensible false. The default value of extensible, if not specified, is true. So if there is a table that you don't want other other apps to add functionality into it, make sure that you specifically mention that this table or this object is set to extensible false. Hopefully that's clear. Let's move on to the next question. How do you specify the name of a table in an external database? And the options were SQL name, external name, CRM name, and EXTDB name. With 130 votes, here is how our community think about it. 22% thought it's SQL name, 64% people thought it's external name, 2% people thought it's CRM name, and 12% people thought it's EXTDB name. And the correct answer for this question is external name. So let's test it out. So what happens is when I set up the external name for this table, and I get an error message that you can only use this on a table type: CRM, external SQL, Exchange, Graph, or CDS, because these are the table type, or these are the external systems where a table in Business Central can be related to. And to do an understanding of it, there are some CRM table or CDS table that are available into the system. So let's look at it. CRM account, which maps to Business Central customers or vendor. When you look into it, the table type is set to CRM and the external name is account. Now this external name is the name of the table in the CRM database, and that's how you identify these tables as it is. So somebody asked me a very interesting question about it, that can I actually have a table? So let's give it a try. Of type external SQL. So let's change the table type here and say table type external SQL. Okay, and then an external name, right? An external name is equal to, let's say, test in SQL. But as you notice that the external SQL property cannot be used for extension development. So you cannot create a table type external SQL unless your extension is marked for on-prem only. Now if you mark for on-prem, there are other things around it, the non-universal code initiatives and all, so don't get into it. But if there is a need ever where your customer wants it for certain reasons, then you can set it to external SQL, and then here you can specify the SQL table name that's there. Okay, specify the table name or view. It can be a table in SQL or a view in SQL that is not in the Dynamics Business Central database. The table type is not supported with Business Central Online. It doesn't mean that you cannot create an on-prem, but even for on-prem you will have to change your target to on-prem, which have other complication around non-universal code. As soon as I do that, this should compile. Okay, but don't do it unless it's needed, because that will force your customer to pay extra cost if they are using target on-prem. Okay, let's head up to the next question. Which property allow you to define the name of the database schema of an external database? So in this question, the question is that which of these property allow you to define the name of the database schema? So the options were external schema, SQL schema, extension schema name, external SQL name. With 95 votes, 66% people thought it's external schema, 8% thought it's SQL schema, and extension schema name 7%, with external SQL name 18%. The correct answer is external schema. Again, the rules remain same. You cannot set this up if you're making an app which is cloud optimized and which supports non-universal, which does not have any non-universal code. So don't do it unless you need it. But remember that this property exists. If customer has to have to use it, then you can still use it. Okay, next question. How can developers allow users to have enough access to carry out tasks that are not defined in the user permission? Now there are certain options here. With 148 votes, the options were access, permission, entitlements, inherit permissions, and inherit entitlements was also there, but because of the length issue I removed that part on the last option. 8% people thought it's access, 55% people thought it's permission, 4% thought it's entitlements, and 32% thought it inherit permissions. inherent permissions. The correct answer here is, with 32% votes, inherent permission. Now what is inherent permission? Let's have a look. So let's pick a standard object into it. Let's see, auth. Okay, so do you have permission to run this or not is defined on your user permission, but if you have to access it, you can define these two properties. What these two properties do, let's have a look by creating a custom code unit and trying to set this up. Okay, is equal to, my options are x and x, indirect execute, direct execute, and then what I'm saying here, that even if you don't have permission to this particular object, you are allowed to run this because I have inherently assigned permission to this particular object so that you can execute it. So the correct answer was inherit permissions. Okay, let's come to the next question. Which of the following object in Business Central can have maximum name length of 20 character? Now this is a question that came up as a follow-up comment on one of the questions, so thank you for that. And the options were enum, permission set extension, permission set, and enum extension. With 145 votes into it, the options were enum. Well, 40% people thought it's enum, 9% people thought it's permission set extension, 43% thought it's permission set, and 8% thought it's enum extension. Now let's give it a try before we reveal the answers to it. So I should have a, let's create a new object. Okay, temp.al. If I try to create a enum, okay, I give it a number, and then I say my enum is this long and is this supported. I'm pretty sure it's more than 20, and it says it cannot exceed 30 characters. So, and the question was around 20 characters, so that's not the thing. Permission set extension. Okay, let's create t permission set extension. Okay, 50100, and that extends one of the existing permission that we have, which is, let's say, ADCS admin. My permission set extension is an extension on ADCS permission, and this is okay. Let's see, it seems to be supported. This is a long name and still there, so I can still support it, I can still work on it, but this is not 20 characters for sure, right? So let's look for the permission set. What happens if I try to create a permission set? Okay, 0101, my permission set is 20 to 30 as character long, and here you get that it cannot exceed 20 character. So the permission set is the object that cannot go beyond 20 character. So the right answer is permission set, not enum, but most of the people thought it's enum. Not most, but second most. Okay, so that was all for this week. I am going out this week for the whole week for a company event, but the questions will be there. They are already scheduled for the next week. So every morning at 10 a.m. I'll see you on LinkedIn with a new question, and at the end of the week we'll do a follow-up on how people community responded to it and what are the right answers to it. Let me know into the comment section what do you think about it. Let me know, is it helping you? Do I need to do a little bit complex? Am I going pretty simple? Anything that you have in your mind, put it into the comments to this video, and I'll keep coming up with the questions around Business Central. Till then, keep learning and keep sharing whatever you're learning. Have a nice day. Thank you.